What's the deal, Merc fam? Thank you for tuning in to another review. As you already know, this is day 3 of our 31 days of Halloween. I'm super excited. I can't wait to continue being as diligent as I am to keep providing you guys with all this great content. But before we get into this quarantine review, I want to make sure that everybody likes, subscribes, tap the notification bell for those who are new to this channel. By you tapping that notification bell one time, it just alerts you forever every time that I post. Just want you to be aware of what I make. Since I started doing the 31-day challenge, I've been really determined to get all these things out for you guys. But to be honest, I've been having a hard time trying to figure out what is classified as horror and what's classified as Halloween. I've had a couple of mixed responses with which movie I'm gonna do next from the people in my inner circle. Some of the movies they feel that aren't horror, some people think that they're scary enough, but we're gonna do every and any movie that put any type of fear in my heart. I really appreciate everybody that's been suggesting new and different movies for me to review, and on this channel we're gonna try to hit them all. But without further ado, let's talk about this ironic movie that I chose called Quarantine, alright? This movie was released in 2008, and in that time frame I was about 17, 16 years old. I really specifically remember this movie coming out. I used to work at a video warehouse. It is something like a Blockbuster. It went out of business way before Blockbuster did. It was actually my first job, and I absolutely remember when this movie came out, man. This is one of the first kind of found footage movies that I ever saw, okay? If you guys don't know what that means, it's like the movies that are from camera angles, you know, first person point of view. It's these type of movies that a lot of people have trouble with, you know. Some people get dizzy and motion sickness from the tilting and turning of the camera, and some people love it like myself. I just feel that when you're seeing it through their perspective, it puts you in the movie. Another good found footage film is Cloverfield, or like the Blair Witch Project. Now, when I was thumbing through my list of scary movies, when this one came up, I absolutely knew I had to do this one. This movie really stands out to me and in my memories, and I thought how ironic it would be to do a review on Quarantine while everyone is kind of still on quarantine. This was one of the first films I ever seen Jennifer Carpenter really star in. She also starred in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, but one of my favorite characters that she's ever played is when she was the white girl in The White Chicks, when she was like, "Look, it's Tina the Talking Tummy." Bruh, she will always be that lady for me. But in this movie, she plays a reporter or journalist type of person, and pretty much she's just following this fire department, staying the night with them, seeing how things work, you know, kind of like a documentary type of film that she's doing. Remember, this is all found footage, so the first 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes of this movie, they really just explain who's who, give you a little bit of backstory. I think one of the main problems critics had with this movie is that they didn't necessarily zero in on the character development. While staying in the fire department, they get a call and they actually get to ride along with them and see how the fire department and paramedics really do their job. But unfortunately, they unknowingly enter this apartment complex to never be able to leave again. I literally can still feel the lump in my throat when they all went upstairs to visit Mrs. Espinosa, and she was in the corner just crying, scared, just It was a very frightening moment, man. This is one of the times where I really felt in a movie anxiety, right? Like, I was beyond nervous for the characters and what was gonna happen to them. I mean, essentially, all hell breaks loose in this apartment complex. What I really enjoyed about all the mayhem in this quarantine movie is they really tried their best, all of the occupants in this apartment complex, to keep a hold on things, to keep a grip on people, and figure out who's who, and get a head count for everyone. Not a lot of movies have a lot of headstrong people and leaders who are willing to kind of round everyone up and take charge, but this movie did just that. But unfortunately, when you find out the virus or the reason why these people are absolutely wigging out and attacking people, it's kind of hard to keep everyone contained. Meanwhile, while all of this chaos is going on, the government has literally sealed off and quarantined the entire building. So everyone that is stuck in this building is literally locked in with the virus. This film did such a good job of keeping the balance between mayhem and ordinance, right? It is so easy to lose count of people in this movie because remember, it is only a point of view, so you're only seeing the cameraman's angle. So many people disappear, so many people run and hide, and you don't really get to see where they are until later on in the movie when a lot of creepy shit happens. This movie is filled with jump scares left and right. There was a Spanish movie called REC, and this was actually like a derivative from that exact film. They tried to recreate this exact thing, but in an English way, right? For the most part, I think they did an absolutely great great job from the policemen, the firemen, and the paramedics that were trapped in the building. They all did a magnificent job of trying to keep everything on the up and up. But really, like I said, when this virus goes crazy and all these people start getting bit and shit, it's really nothing that no one can do because they're all trapped. The tension in this movie was portrayed by the main character so perfectly, man. She's one of the only survivors by the end of it, and she ends up having to go into where this all originated, and that's where we kind of get a little bit of unfolding on why and who. The only real reason anyone knows what's going on is the luck of there being a veterinarian that lived in the building, and he could recognize all of these signs everyone was suffering from, right? He could see the foam in the mouth, the aggravatedness, the agitatedness, just the way that everyone was acting. This is just like rabies, just at an accelerated rate. This movie is definitely in my top ranking of the best horror movies I've ever seen. There is actually a sequel to this movie that takes place in an airplane terminal, and that movie was absolutely nuts as well. I feel that it didn't hit all the points that this first one did, but it did a pretty good job, being that it was in an airplane, in an airport, and they had to shut the whole thing down and quarantine it as well. If you haven't seen either of these movies, Quarantine is absolutely one of the top movies you gotta watch if you like seeing these point of view or POV type films. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give Quarantine an 8 out of 10. I absolutely love this movie, and I recommend it for everybody to watch. If you've never seen Quarantine or you haven't seen it in a while, it's one of the movies I think that you guys will absolutely love to check out, man. But what did you guys think of this review? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Only way that I'm gonna know is if you guys jump in my comment section and we have a full-on discussion. I'm really looking forward to delivering you guys all of my movie reviews this month, man. It's really put a fire under me, and I feel so motivated, man. But you already know what it is. It's your boy Merc. It's been a pleasure, but I'm out.
In the movie, but we know that you acting. With all of this heat, melt you up like you plastic. Niggas will switch up on you in a moment. Like a stack of hundreds, I'm never folding. Heard they changed on me, I never noticed. Hit her and her friends, once that's a bonus. At the top, but I came from the lowest. Married to the money, yeah, I'm devoted.